good afternoon to you, and many thanks for keeping it KTN. This is indeed news as it happened. You're tuned to Newsdesk.
Indeed, we do have the very latest what's happening in and around your world. COFEC, which is a consumer watchdog, has gone to court to try and stop the nomination of principal, or rather the appointment of principal secretaries. We have all the details for you later.
Also, we'll be giving you the devastating story of the tornadoes that hit Oklahoma, killing 51 people.
Good afternoon. My name is Edith Kimani. Let's begin this afternoon with what's happening in Parliament. And court has actually taken control of the two crucial House watchdog committees in the ongoing parliamentary committee elections. Now, Wajir West MP Aidan Kainan will now chair the Parliamentary Investments Committee, and his Budalangi counterpart Ababu Namwamba to chair the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. For more details, we're now joined by our senior political affairs reporter Aaron Ocheng, who has been following the elections. Aaron, good afternoon.
Very good afternoon to you, Edith Kimani. As you rightly put it, by the end of today, the 11th Parliament will be fully constituted after various departmental committees held the elections beginning yesterday and concluding by the close of business today. This morning saw two crucial committees, the Public Accounts Committee and the Public Investments Committee, electing their chair and vice chair respectively. And as if you remember, Edith, these two committees were given to the opposition to head after consensus between the government side and the opposition. So the chair of the Public Accounts Committee, very crucial committee in oversighting the government, will be chaired by Budalangi Member of Parliament, Ababu Namwamba, and he will be deputized by Cecil Mbarire, the Member of Parliament from Runyenjes. The Public Investment Committee, also very crucial, will be chaired by Aidan Kainan, and Anthony Kimani will be the vice chair. Other committees that held the elections this morning was Delegation Committee with William Septumo and Joseph Gitari getting the chairman and vice chairman respectively, and also the Administrative and National Security, Justice and Legal Affairs Committee will be holding their elections as from 2 o'clock. So, as I said earlier, by the conclusion of today's business at around 5:30 in the evening, the 11th Parliament will be fully constituted and it will be embarking on the business that is ahead of it. Edith.
All right, Aaron, final question before I do let you go. You have been following the elections. Was there a particular reason for the chairpersons of the PSC and PIC to be elected, or was it purely based on their party affiliations?
As you remember, even before the elections started a couple of weeks ago, the Accord Coalition was saying that to oversight the government, it needs people who are outside the government. And Jubilee, by the fact that they have formed the government, they are saying its backbenchers will be sort of colliding or not, they wouldn't be fitting the government as such. So they were saying that for a parliament to look for the states to look at government and parliament working well, they need someone from the opposition to actually be checking the government. And what the Jubilee and CORD decided was they are going to give it to CORD to chair, but the Jubilee coalition will have majority of this to one. So in case Jubilee wants to have their way in these committees, they will still have their way, because even if the chair is not from their side, they have the majority. But today we saw them. Edith?
Yes, I can hear you. Please go on.
But what we saw today is that both sides actually voted in harmoniously, because we saw Ababu Namwamba getting almost all the votes from both sides, and also the CORD coalition voting for Cecil Mbarire overwhelmingly. So, and afterwards they said that them being people who are not in government as such, they will not be divided when they are performing their duties at the Public Accounts Committee.
All right, thank you. Thank you very much, Aaron Ocheng. He's following the parliamentary committee elections, which are currently happening in Parliament. But just to bring you up to speed, the chairperson for the Parliamentary Investments Committee is now Aidan Kainan, and his Budalangi counterpart, rather, Babu Namwamba, is going to chair the Parliamentary Accounts Committee. We'll be following that story for you. But to other nominations, the consumer watchdog, or COFEC, has added its voice to the growing controversy surrounding the appointment of principal secretaries. Now, COFEC claims that the recruitment process was flawed and has since moved to court in an attempt to stop the appointments. Now, this follows calls by the anti-graft body, the Kenya Anti-Corruption Commission, to have 15 nominees for the position of PS locked out. Now, the Corruption Commission claims that the 15 failed the integrity test and should not be allowed to hold public office. The names of the 15 have since been forwarded to the Public Service Commission for review.
Right, from matters of appointments, let's talk about wildlife now. And Kenya Wildlife Services is now moving to help save the endangered sable antelopes. Now, a rare species of the antelope family only found in Shimba Hills in the country. In its conservation strategy, KWS will be looking to countries like Tanzania, which have the rare species, to help crossbreed in a bid to increase the number of the long-horned antelopes in Shimba Hills National Reserve.
The main gate to the Shimba Hills National Reserve tells it all. This is the only home of the sable antelope in the country.
You have seen we have a number of wildlife species in this reserve. And one of the unique and endemic species is the sable antelope.
In the 1960s, the Shimba Hills National Reserve, which is home to other species of animals, was the paradise of the sable antelope, with at least 269 sable antelopes found here. But the numbers have dwindled over the years.
The current population currently found in Shimba Hills is approximately about 59 species, individuals, I mean.
Scientists say inbreeding, poaching, predation and loss of habitat due to land use and population increase around the reserve have served to endanger the sable antelope, which has a lifespan of about 20 years.
Offsprings that are sprouting up from the population that we have here might be as a result of inbreeding. So this is causing sometimes the survival rate of the young ones that are being brought up to be quite low.
To help save the sable antelope, the Kenya Wildlife Service has formulated the National Sable Antelope Conservation Management Strategy.
There are plans to engage other countries that have the same species that we have in Kenya, like Tanzania, so that we can also bring individuals from Tanzania and do a crossbreed with that population, so that we try to make the individuals that come out from the offspring that are brought out to be stronger enough and resilient to survive in this kind of environment.
Security surveillance of this species has also been beefed up, and wildlife authorities are hoping that their latest move to save the rare species will bear fruit to save the sable antelope from being wiped off the wildlife map in the country. Rita Tinina, KTN.
Right, and true to the expectations of many, newsstands across Uganda were missing the Daily Monitor newspapers whose offices were raided yesterday by government officers.
Right, and apart from the Daily Monitor, we're also looking at the Red Pepper publications, which were raided. The pictures you're seeing yesterday, the pictures you're seeing on your screens, rather, from yesterday, when Ugandan forces raided these two publications, claiming that they had a warrant to search their premises for what appears to be a rather controversial letter.
Right, and also news coming from different sources indicate that the reason is that the Daily Monitor actually put to press a publication that alleged that President Yoweri Museveni was actually grooming his son to take over the forces and actually succeed him later on as he steps down from office. Of course, details to that will be coming to us subsequently, but what we do know right now is that those offices remained closed and there was no publication of today's issue of the Daily Monitor.
And just a reminder, it's not the first time that this is happening in Uganda. In 2008, a similar incident actually occurred, but the men were dressed in military uniform and bombed the printing press. And so it's certainly a blow to media freedom in East Africa. And as Tunya has said, we will keep an eye on that story.
Right, from Uganda, let's talk about security now. And residents of Eldoret want the police to intensify police patrols to curb increased cases of insecurity in the area.
Now, this is after a security guard at the Kenya Red Cross Society offices in Eldoret was killed and robbers fled with goods worth about 200,000 shillings. And as KTN's Angel Katusia reports, the wave crime has not spared Kisumu either.
The body of the security guard was found at the offices of the Kenya Red Cross Society at Pioneer Estate. Witnesses say the body had machete injuries. It is believed that the robbers killed the security guard before stealing valuables, including laptops from the Red Cross offices. Kenya Red Cross Society Assistant General Secretary in charge of North and South Rift, Patrick Nyongesa, is calling on the police to intensify patrols as 2 weeks ago 2 students were killed in the same neighborhood.
We just appeal that there will be increased security along these areas. We expect that as we continue working and other organizations work around here, we should feel more secure by having these areas more secured, Eldoret and all other areas that we have been experiencing.
Elsewhere in Kisumu, Kondele, a body of a middle-aged man was found dumped at the Kondele flyover. Eyewitnesses say the deceased's legs were tied together with a rope and the body had several injuries. Last weekend, another body was found stashed in a sack and thrown in a rubbish pit at the same area.
Na mimi nauliza wale wakaaje wa hapa, kama unajua mkora mnaishi naye pamoja, tafadhali peleka maneno kwa serikali, hatua achukuliwe.
Mara nyingi tunasikia watu kupigwa, kunyang'anywa vitu, simu, pesa.
Cases of insecurity in several parts of the country have gone high, even as police boss David Kimayo assured Kenyans of security. Angel Katusia, KTN, live at 1.
If you follow the Standard Group or the Standard Media Group on Facebook, you will know that it is a home of talent, and you've probably known that the Standard Group has emerged second worldwide in the recently announced International News Media Association, or INMA 2013 awards.
Now, the group, through its Stand integrated marketing campaign that was rolled out during the run-up to last year's general election, came in second after India's Hindustan Times in the hotly contested ENMA awards competition.
Speaking during the presentation of the awards, the Standard Group CEO Sam Sholay said the group is committed to maintaining global benchmarks in media service delivery.
We had gone through a difficult time in 2008, and we at the Standard Group thought it important that Kenyans did not repeat the same mistakes. And together with our partners, we said we want to develop a campaign that talks to peace, that talks to the nation of Kenya, and that is why we call this campaign the Stand Campaign. And the Stand Campaign was, we stand for Kenya, we stand for fair, balanced reporting.
The Stand Campaign, which was developed by integrated marketing communications agency Media Edge Interactive, was part of what constituted management of last year's elections.
We are particularly excited about the level of creativity that was employed in bringing out the core message that was intended for this Stand campaign that has now turned out into an award-winning, a global award-winning campaign.
The awards were recently presented in New York during the conclusion of the 83rd Annual INMA World Congress that featured more than 300 media executives from around the world. Najma Ismail, KTN.
Just in case you missed it, let me just repeat it once more. We came second in an international competition. These are global standards. We're not competing locally, we're competing internationally, and therefore congratulations to the Standard Group. Elsewhere, more than 30 aliens have been charged with being in the country illegally. The aliens from Somalia, Ethiopia, and Congo were charged at an Eldoret court. The men, women, and even children are said to have escaped from the Kakuma refugee camp aboard a bus bound for Nairobi. Senior Magistrate Samuel Mukua, who heard the case, ruled that there was no reason why the court should pardon the aliens and went on to fine each of them 10,000 shillings or serve a jail term of 1 month before returning to the Kakuma refugee camp.